Hi, Mike.
Hey, Sophie.
Just what was the biggest difference that you saw in the first half versus the second
Well,
half?
I mean, we weren't able to get any stops, and the one when we had an opportunity to make a play, we weren't able to make it. Um, Penalties, and that's how this game goes. Few small plays make the difference. We were very prepared for this team. We were going to need 60 minutes to beat this team. It's a good football team, and we had a lot of good football in there, and we had some, a lot of plays that, a few plays that we'd like to have back that we'll have to learn from them.
And then with Robert Spillane, I was just curious. You didn't have him as an active today, but I don't think we saw him out there. I was just having him more of like an emergency situation.
Yeah, we felt like after going through the warm-ups and everything that was, what was going to be best for him today. And we need everybody, certainly Robert, and we'll have to try to get as healthy as we can, as quickly as we can.
Mike, you talk often about complementary football.
Mm-hmm.
How much did the return maybe by Davis to start the second half, 58 yards, and some of the issues that you had with the
Well, that was
kick
been a
return?
strength of ours, and we knew going in that it would be a good test and a great challenge, and so again, just they're too good to give them short fields, and field position in games like this is critical. Making them be able to drive it and somehow along the way get a stop, and so that wasn't the only play. That was certainly one that we need to get back, and again, that's been a strength of ours, and I'm confident that it'll be a strength of ours going forward.
Mike, two critical pass interference calls obviously went against you guys that led to touchdowns, and the Carlton Davis one very late flag on that. Just wanted to get your reaction, what you thought about those calls.
The same guy thought it was his penalty the same way, so I mean, it's a judgment call. Whether I disagree with it or not, it doesn't matter. He called it, so that's how this thing goes.
Mike, the Bills only had 14 over here. Bills only had 14 yards of offense in the first quarter, 3 punts, and then 5 straight touchdowns. What changed, do you think, for them?
They were able to get the running game going. We missed tackles. We didn't build a good enough wall. Didn't get off on third down. Weren't able to create any turnovers, and or get any stops in the red zone. It's not no secret, called the same stuff. They called the same stuff, and we just have to be able to take advantage of those opportunities that we get to get the drive stopped, and whether that's a penalty or one play or a third down conversion, and we just got to be able to learn from it.
Mike, is this an opportunity for your team to learn from this situation second half? Is that basically what you told them after?
Sure, that's exactly what I told them. I said we have an opportunity to improve like we have when we won, the same as today when we lost and came up short. But there's a lot of good stuff in there that I'm proud of, and that we'll be able to use as a positive. And there's a lot of stuff that we have to correct and make sure that we fix, and we'll do that tomorrow and try to get as healthy as we can and put a plan together for Baltimore.
Mike, it's 2 straight weeks now where a lot of the offensive productions come in the first half. Any trends you're seeing in the second half from the offense?
For me today, I don't know if I'd be able to answer that. I thought, with the limited opportunities that they had, today we hit a bunch of big plays. So, again, the drive that we needed our offense to get, I was confident, and I thought for sure that we'd take that football and go down and score a touchdown. And we just weren't able to. That's why I went for it.
Mike, I know they're obviously leading the league in rushing. Specifically, when you guys were in base defense, what did you see there in the second half that wasn't working the way you wanted?
This is a big physical offensive line, and you have to be able to not give them any cracks or any holes in the wall. And if you have any, Cook finds them, and So we knew that you have to get off blocks and you'd have to, have color separation and not show them, creases. And, that's really what it comes down to.
Coach, what did you see from them in the second half defensively that stymied you guys a bit offensively and kept you guys in
Well, we
check?
knew they were going to continue to pressure. They pressured and played zone, and it wasn't enough for us to be able to. I thought there were times where they pressured and we couldn't come clean, and or we weren't able to complete some passes, especially on third down when they pressured, and so we'll have to learn from it, and we'll have to make sure that we're converting third downs.
Right here in the middle, Mike. This isn't Josh Allen's first rodeo in these kinds of games. He's dozens, a couple of dozen. What is it about him? What do you see on maybe in film? Why he's able to do this sort of game in and game out?
I mean, it's the same thing everybody else sees. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, runs fast, hard to tackle, hard to get down on the ground. It's accurate, strong arm. Like, I'm giving you, dissertation on a league MVP. It's like, just watch all the games and know that it's just the same as it was last week. You had a guy free, weren't able to make the play. Last week's team had a guy free, weren't able to make the play. Like, that's why they draft him, and that's why they pay him $60 million. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Just exactly what we knew it was going to be, that we were going to need to get a stop or, be able to tackle him if we pressured and we came free. And, so hopefully we get another opportunity to do that. But, that won't, be for, I don't know. But whenever we do, we'll have to be ready for the quarterback that we have this week.
Final question, Sophie. Roller, locker room is open.
You had some explosive runs from Travion Henderson today. I'm just curious what you saw from him and what allowed him to be so effective on the field today.
Well, I thought we had a good plan. I thought our coaches had a good plan and did a great job. I'll see you tomorrow, Nicole. And we'll go from there. Thanks, Soph.